council. This doctor's from Merseyside and this doctor's independent.
Hang on, let me start again.
Yeah.
Guys, I have a police again. I'll start with you, sir. What's your...
6133.
It's 8251.
I'm Dr. Yassin.
Can I see your card?
Yep. There you go.
Yours?
Stephen Roper, approved mental health.
I can't see anything, sir.
Sorry. Okay.
Okay. You are a psychiatrist?
1361.
2765, mate.
Okay.
So we're here, Daniel, because
Yeah.
you've been reporting some concerning events to police and ambulance over the last, the recent past. Wednesday night you made some quite concerning comments, I think, to the police. And we're here to assess you under the mental health act today to determine whether you need to come in hospital or not for an assessment and some treatments.
So, hang on a minute. Under Mental Health Act.
Under the mental health act, yeah.
Hang on, under Mental Health Act. Have you contacted my GP in any way or any medical record to suggest that you can subject me under mental health?
We don't have to do that.
You do?
No, we don't. So that's why we're here.
That's why I'm telling you.
Daniel, have you been detained under the Mental Health Act before?
I got nothing in my pocket, mate.
Oh, that's brilliant. I was just checking we didn't have it in your pocket, mate. I just want to make sure there was nothing in there. Okay, you've got your hand out, mate, so it's not an issue. When you carry on talking to you, just...
Hang on a minute. This is the question that I'm asking, that I'm going to ask all of you. Under my medical record, is there anything that says I'm of mental health on my medical record?
Well, there is now, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
There is now. Since when?
Since the last, I think, few months, is it? Since you've been in Liverpool?
I've not been in Liverpool. I've been in Southport.
Oh, Southport, sorry.
Why is that?
Yeah. Because of concerns raised about your mental health. And do you remember it's someone called the Early Intervention Team?
Yes.
They were trying to contact you.
So the Early Interventions Team have been lobbying by the police because of the case that I have against the police of brutality, conspiracy to prevent cause of justice, and in fact attempted murder, which have started in Stoke-on-Trent.
Yes.
So whereby the police have gone to my GP and suggested that by trying to lobby my doctor that I'm of mental health, where the doctor turned around and said, which you can confirm now, where they turned around and said, hang on a minute. First of all, it's a breach of doctor and patient privilege. Secondly, Daniel on his medical record has said the police have been harassing him, have been tormenting him all over because of the complaints they have made against the police, which is against a breach of Human Rights Convention, Article 2 and 3. Having somebody make a complaint against the police and being under brutality because of that vendetta and revenge, which has been the case.
So that's something in Stoke?
No, in Stoke, which is relating to this one.
Yeah.
That's why I said, if you look under my medical record, if there is an incident where it says I'm of mental health, obviously you can. To the point I talked to Kilby. Do you know Kilby?
No.
Brian Kilby.
Oh,
Kilty.
Brian Kilty, yeah, I know Brian, yeah.
I was coming from, from Dumfries.
Yeah.
Now, this has been discrediting of who I am by police. I was arrested on the way to Scotland that I did not have a driving insurance on my vehicle. Yeah. So the court have indicted me for 4 occasions to the court, up and down, to the point the court prosecutor said, when I produced my insurance, which I had on the vehicle, but this was done in perversion of justice because they wanted to implicate me because of all this complaint.
So do you feel you're at risk of harm from anyone at the moment then? Is that,
no.
So what's the intent to murder about then? Can you tell us a bit?
Can you explain to me the intent to murder in specific? And show me the evidence. What are you talking the intention to murder? Where did you get that from?
You just said there was an issue around attempted murder earlier on when you were talking.
But Stoke-on-Trent policing.
Yeah, so what
due to perversion of justice because of the complaint I have against them.
So is that someone's trying to
no,
murder on you?
Say that can be done. Please don't insult my diligence. By asphyxiation in the property, poisoning of the gas, which you can have the evidence and the proof by candidate, where they came to my property 2-3 times, which I have the letter in my property. They find that on the top of my gas there was a flap leak have been left open, which have been led to me being poisoned in my property. Now,
who you poisoned?
No, the police have done that by lobbying by lobbying that. So
lobbying.
by lobbying the sanctuary house commissioner of Stoke-on-Trent, which I did at the time, so that have automatically then get the ROPC involved into the investigation, which, as by Merseyside, you should know, my case is under review on the ROPC. Am I lying?
I'm not aware of that, mate, so I'm just...
Whatever's happened in Stoke, I've never met him.
No.
before,
That
my
is
lawyer.
that is
So we
not
don't know
in
what's
Stoke.
going on in Stoke.
That is not in Stoke, and which is related. If you open a door, for me, there is a letter, a new letter that has came from Merseyside Police of the investigation saying that they can neither deny or agree that all the investigation under police brutality has been happening or not, which is still waiting a review to happen. So once that review being conducted, and they find out that, yes, the police have been breach of misconduct, gross misconduct, have been in violation of justice and perjury, then they are liable for all this. Now, what happening before that, please let me finish. What happened, I'm having all of you, all these, who have been lobbying by the police to enforcement. How can the police refer you unless it was from my GP, which is...
May I ask?
Please.
So some of you talking about what is the evidence or the suggestion that there's any concerns about your mental health. Some of
have been breaching contact of you, and will look for remedy or anything to make sure that don't happen again.
Yeah.
Now, if they find out that there was no such thing after the full investigation, then will come back to me and say, mate, you need to see a doctor, there might be an issue of mental health or such and such and such and such.
Can I just ask a question, Daniel? Then?
Please do.
On this, some of the other things you've been saying to the police is there's been people outside the house watching you 24/7 from a car.
When I'm saying there has been people, there has not been people. There has been a police vehicle, an off-duty police vehicle, a private police vehicle with a number plates. Now, if you're saying within the messages that you have seen from WhatsApp, the only message that you have seen for you to be concerned is of that when I said those messages and say, oh, we want to check if you're right and such and such. When I find out from the ambulance, the same police officer that I've complained about is the same police officer that have called the ambulance to come to my property. The second occasion, it was another one where they have lobbied my family to call the police by bribing in Skemester while I live in Stoke-on-Trent as the Northwest Ambulance. And they called them and they said, oh, the ambulance came and knocked at my door as you did and said, oh, can we come in and say, yes, it's on my Facebook as well. You can have a look at it if you want it. And they came around and said to me, oh, your family member is concerned of you. We want to come and see if you're right. And I said, by all means, you can come in and see if I'm right. So, but what I don't understand is the family member that you are mentioning, which is Rebecca Tilty, in Skemester, I don't know this person. I know her as my sister, relative, but I don't talk to her, not in communication with her, for her to be in concern or worried. And when I find out later on, the same thing. The police have asked her to call the ambulance and to say such and such. So it's on 2 occasions.
Daniel, it's okay, that's a quick question. So,
Please.
so you're saying the police have lobbied your family, they've lobbied the electrician,
Exactly.
they've lobbied a lot of people. Is there any chance at all that any of these thoughts can be your mental health?
Say, if I have a thought that cannot be accumulated, me thinking about it without any investigation that I have given to the police, yes, then there might be thoughts in my head. But if I have written everything down, time, date, everything, and send it to the police for them to investigate without any investigation to confirm, no deny, as they have said, that all this have been conducted within my property, which they await ROPC review, which will then define if the police, in fact, have been in breach of gross misconduct or not. Now, what is not being done at the moment this has happened for me over 8 years. What has not been done?
I'm really sorry, just
No, yes. 3 years refer it to mental health property or early intervention and turn around and said, oh, but what's funny is this. Williams, Constable Williams, 2895, is the one police officer after the investigation had taken out the phone.
going to hospital might be helpful for you. How would you feel about that?
I will not say, this is what I said and that I have been saying along. We have 2 scenarios here, and which is not of problem with me. But the problem is this. If you were now to diagnose me of mental health by being lobbying by the police in perversion of justice or whatever, which is non-constitutional, and has the reasons being here, and then he turn around all the police, everything that they have done to me, they have in fact been in breach of gross misconduct. Where would I be tomorrow? Tell me that as a doctor perspective, from your own perspective, and they find out that you have diagnosed this person after being loping by the police, and what you in fact picking up from the message who are saying he's sending from WhatsApp.
So Dan, just to be clear,
Can I finish,
I
please?
just really want you to be
Please.
clear that the police aren't influencing what decision we make in English.
No. I'm not saying
so
that.
Just so you know that we're here not because the police have lobbied or anything.
The
else,
police
because there's actual
have
concerns
influenced Brian Kilty. They have influenced 3 years. Because 3 years.
No, sorry, just trying to get over the platform, that's all.
Alright. Do you want to press the buzzer and see what happens?
No, if it's the letter, tell him to put it here.
The chat in the back there.
Yeah.
It's platform.
Yes, can I sign it for it, please? If you mind?
Yeah, if I can take your name, mate, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
Daniel.
okay.
Daniel.
Daniel.
Yes.
He does live there.
Right, okay. And your surname, please?
Kilo Alpha Mike Bravo Alpha Tango Uniform Kilo Uniform.
Mate, I didn't quite.
KAMBATUKU.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're part free.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, so Daniel, I've just got a question,
Yeah.
okay?
Go on, say.
So, the other night you contacted the police and there was a series of messages I think you sent, and some of them are quite difficult to read, which was quite concerning for us. So I'm wondering, you were talking about chopping people's limbs off.
No, sir, I will tell you what happened,
Yeah, go on.
basically. And what you need to understand is this. Prior to the message happening, bear in mind the police have already been watching me through the CCTV of Haiti, and that one where you've been.
Yeah.
Because that day I bought a heater from Dalem.
Yeah.
And what this heater was doing, by electrical asparagus, if you know what that is.
Electrical
Asparagus.
asparagus.
Basically, it's shocking electrical in my property. So what that does, yeah.
And that's happening here.
Yes, what that does within the property, if you have a heater on, he cut it on and he cut it off, and he come on itself and come off itself, which is weird, basically.
Yeah.
So, and then, which I've reported to the police on 101 on numerous occasions as well. That's why I said, say, if you want to get that letter there from the police,
Daniel,
we should inform.
what the comments around hurting people, cutting their limbs off, can you let us know about them?
No, say.
What did that have to do with the electric heater?
If that, I took that electricity, the heater, to take it outside, to cut it in between and put it in a bin, and then I came back inside.
Yeah.
So that's where maybe that might have come from.
No, but you put something in the email about, it sounded like,
Uh-huh.
it wasn't very ordered, so it wasn't a full sentence, but it sounded as though there was a threat towards the police to cut their limbs off.
Say, ma'am, with all due respect, hang on a minute. Do you think I would threatening, if I were to threaten a police officer, and I don't know where they are, the police station, or I could have taken a drastic, really measure to do such?
So are you saying you didn't send that?
Do you think that? I might have sent a message in frustration saying that due to ongoing complaints that are not being properly investigated due to perversion of justice.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is that, why is it the ambulance that I've already complained against and that have been in perversion with the police are the one that having an issue? But why none of you are going to the police and saying, actually, have you ever investigated all Daniel's complaints that have been forwarded to 101, which might contribute to his frustration, and then you turning around and saying it's a mental health? Have you?
No.
You have not. Why not?
Daniel, just
Don't say. Why? Can you answer me that? Why not?
Because we're here having this conversation
Say,
right
ma'am,
now, aren't we?
for you to explore all the possibility of what might be a mental health or not, you have to explore. Hang on. You see, you keep interrupting me.
I'll answer your question now, okay?
Can I finish the question,
Go on,
please?
I'm sorry, Daniel. Go on.
Please.
Sorry.
And this is a problem. So if you turn around and say,
Yeah.
you as the police have said together, look at all the possibility of Daniel might be of mental health, and come to conclusion that, okay, you cannot just look at my part because I have threatened the police, I might be a threat to the public or anyone without any criminal record, in fact, but have been brutalized for over 8 years by the police without any injustice.
Yeah.
So, as a mental health, when you're looking at the tree of the problem, that's where you have to start. Could the police, what Daniel been saying, with all the complaints that you have done, could be contributed to his frustration and mental health? which now the police are turning around and saying, we want to impose a mental health on Daniel, which will then justify their gross misconduct and misconduct what has been done to me.
Yeah.
Did you look at that possibility?
So, what I think, are you going to do that? Yeah, you think, yeah. Okay, so here's what I think, Daniel, okay? And
No, I ask you a question,
and
please.
I'm going to answer you the question.
Yeah.
So, the content of the messages and the content of your thoughts at the moment, listen, are concerning to us, and we think that these experiences you are having...
I'm not having... You are saying I'm having experience.
I know,
you are saying that I did not say that.
I know, so this is my professional opinion now, okay? Which
Okay.
I know that you're going to disagree
Which
with.
I'm
okay?
allowed to have a second opinion from my doctor or anybody else.
You can disagree with this.
That's not a
but
problem.
I'm letting you know what's happening now.
Please.
So some of these frauds that are things like poisoning you in your flat, or that you're going to get electric shocks, or people like the police are watching you.
Electric shock.
Yeah, you're saying of something around the electricity.
Can you get the letter in my property?
So,
Let me get the letter which will define because the problem here, what I'm finding now is, whatever decision have been made among you, have already been decided wherever that is. Before please, can I talk, please?
yeah.
Please, can I talk? Have already been decided. But if you are not turning around for me to give you evidence which might have contributed or may not contributed, by like getting in my mouth and saying the word that I'm saying, electrical problem, might have been the thoughts that I'm thinking. Those are not thoughts, because you are not in my property to witness or to say that. But where you have one-on-one complaints, call recorded, where they refer to triage, which you have not listened to, or anybody in fact investigated, and you have decided that that does not contribute or might not contribute to the fact that you have to be at my property. But would you have gone into those investigation of one-on-one and look at them, or any Facebooks relating to video issue or of 8 years brutality might have contributed to this, which of not mental health but frustration. You did not look at that. So the other factor, which is the most important under mental health, is this.
Yeah.
My GP. You have not conducted my GP in any way to get a first opinion before you have decided among yourself.
Last see your
Please,
GP?
last time I've seen my GP it was last week, 2 weeks ago actually in Stoke-on-Trent.
Oh, you went to Stoke-on-Trent
Yes.
2 weeks ago?
Yes, I was there. So you have not done that because you cannot.
May I ask, sorry, why
Yeah.
did you move to Southport?
I moved to Southport because of police brutality in Stoke-on-Trent.
And have you got family or friends or anyone?
Yes, I have.
Here?
That's why I moved here, yeah.
Who's here for you?
A lot of people here in Namibians that I know that are here.
That are what, sorry?
Namibians that I know that are here.
Namibians?
Yes, that I
You're
interact with them,
Namibian
yes,
yourself,
that I be with all the time. And you can ask them if they have seen me being of mental health or taking my clothes off or threatening somebody in the street or in fact going to the shop to the security and say I will slap you, which is a sign of mental health.
Well,
As previously,
Daniel,
basically.
all them things, right, are not really signs we look for. Some of the stuff you're explaining...
The most
today
important thing
So,
is Damien Moore.
yeah, the MP.
Do you know Damien Moore?
He's the MP for Southport, yeah, go
No,
on, tell me
he-
about Damien.
Last time I went to see NP in relating to all this issue.
Yeah,
I came to see Damien Moore. So I told them what was the issue was happening.
yeah.
And yes, what they have to do, they will have to write a letter to the police as to why you're not investigating this issue and what was your conclusion to the issue, which have led to the letter that I want this officer to get into my property and look at it, which the police have then came about to me and said they are neither denying nor confirming the surveillance that is being conducted against me, the monitoring is being conducted against me, the harassment is being conducted against me, which is of a government GP DRNSC. So, which means that says the government, if a police officer see if the person is of any threat to a national security or terrorist act, then they can be conducted in such and such and such, which I am really written to the police back and said, I don't have a problem with that. But for you to do that against somebody with no criminal record or no prior is against the law and a breach of misconduct. Hence the reason this was referred to the IOPC for a review.
Yeah, so
now, before that happening,
Daniel, you've told us all of this, okay, and I really
but
appreciate
you
all
don't
the
seem
information.
to listen.
We have listened, right, so Where
Because the fact now, I sent this to email to Damien Moore today,
Daniel.
which could be the reason you are here.
No,
Because you have contacted by Damien Moore. I don't know that.
No. We're here because of concerns passed through to us by
When was that?
professionals, okay, on Wednesday night. So listen, this is really important because we've listened to you
Thank
now,
you
okay,
very
and
much.
I really want to speak to you.
Do you know
Daniel,
about the two people
Daniel,
didn't
you need
here?
to concentrate.
Okay.
Daniel, you need to concentrate, okay? 'Cause this is very
I'm
important.
concentrating because I'm listening to you.
Thank you. So, we're of the opinion that you're not well at the moment, okay? And I know you completely disagree with that, okay? So we're going to make some arrangements for you to come into hospital for an assessment of your mental state, okay?
Yes,
Yeah.
you can do arrangement. You can look for a letter. I'll look for a second opinion before that happens.
That's going to
That's
be under
fine.
the Mental Health Act, and the two opinions, we've got one doctor and two doctors here, they're the two opinions that I need.
That they are not my
I'm
doctors.
going to look, we don't have to be your doctors.
They have to be.
So I'm going
Because
to
they have to have a history of my previous medical record.
No, so I'm going to go make some arrangements now to try and facilitate that today.
You can do facilitate
Okay.
that, but before that happens, I will contact my doctor. I will contact my doctor in Stoke-on-Trent.
Yeah.
I'll get my medical record. I'll get a friend or solicitor that will accommodate me to come and do the assessment.
We're going
with
to be
you.
looking
That's
at
not a
an admission
problem.
under Section 2 of the Mental Health Act.
You can't do that.
in
That's against the law.
Up to 28 days for an assessment. When you get to hospital, you can appeal to a mental health review tribunal to challenge that decision to detain you in hospital under the Mental Health Act. So this is a legal process that we're following.
It's not
today.
legal process
Okay?
because I not agree with that.
Yeah, exactly.
If you do that to me, hang on,
Yeah.
say, you cannot agree under Mental Health Act without my GP saying so. There is no such a thing.
That there is, I'm afraid.
Tell me the laws around that.
So the Mental Health Act
Yeah.
requires an AMP, that's Stephen, and 2 doctors.
You are not my doctor.
We don't have to be your doctors. You're not in Stoke. Your doctor isn't going to come from Stoke.
They will have an opinion of Stoke-on-Trent.
No, because we're the doctors right here, right now.
Which doctor are you coming from?
I'm an independent doctor.
And I work for Merseyside.
And the Mercy
We
Care.
don't know each other.
Hang on a minute. The Mercy
Come
Care.
back in a minute. I just need to ring
Say.
Stoke. I'm going to go and
Please, ring Stoke-on-Trent.
Okay, Yeah.
Yeah.
Put it back. Okay.
Please.
Okay.
Which you should have done before you come here, really. That's fine.
Daniel, I know everyone's just talking to you at the minute. I keep saying, keep putting your hand in your pocket.
Say,
Can you just know where
it's keys. There is nothing in my pocket.
I know there's nothing
Just
serious
get the
in
hands
your
where we
pocket,
can see
mate,
them, 'cause we're
but I
gonna
just
search
don't
you,
want
okay,
anything
just
to...
now
Yes, you can say to me. That's not the problem.
Okay.
You can't
We'll be back in a
detain me.
minute.
You're already been detained.
So are you saying I've been detained at another health section?
That means section
It
2.
might be worth just slowing down a little bit.
Say, I'm not go. What if you go to the hospital?
Pass that
You
down.
can't do that.
Yes, can.
It's against the law. You can't do that.
Anything in your pocket that's going to hurt you or me?
No.